Well, hello. My name is Chantay, aka Shantizi, on Twitter and Instagram, or just Chantay. Hi, Dr. C, and welcome. Yes, it's a little late. I'm not going to be that long because I do have to get up for work tomorrow. And for those who are going to watch the replay, Happy New Year. And those who are watching, Happy New Year. I hope your holidays are well. I'm still trying to get over the fact that there was the holidays and it just came and it just went. Who would have thought that the holidays just came and it just went, right? But we're in 2021. We're in day 4. And it seems like people are trying to carry on the same mess that they did in 2020. Same to you, Dr. C. Same to you. And those who are watching, please subscribe to Dr. C's Patreon. I believe it's $10 a month. I'm not quite sure. But please subscribe because she's very smart and very wise. No problem. But I am going to get to this. Let me get to these COVID numbers. Because COVID here is all crazy. And I'm not sure with the numbers of cases. I haven't looked all weekend, but I'm pretty sure the numbers are not going down. They're not going down. So here we are. According to the the Johns Hopkins University of Medicine Coronavirus Resource Center. Coronavirus.jhu.edu. So global confirmed cases in 191 countries, I believe. That's all 189. Sometimes you get the numbers mixed up. Is 85,644,224 cases of COVID around the world. The world death toll is 1,852,208. Yikes. The U.S. confirmed cases, now here at home, we're at 20,807,818. We've only been in 20 million for a week. I think a week. Or maybe so. Maybe shorter than that. And we're almost at 21 million cases here. Thank you, Michael Richard Pence, for your leadership on coronavirus. We're leading in the world of deaths. I know, Dr. C. The U.S. death toll is 353,388. So I think we're having over 3,000 deaths per day, or just averaging about 3,000 deaths per day. And it doesn't look good at all. New cases. So today, according to the COVID map here on the Johns Hopkins COVID map, we had 210,479 new cases today. New infections today. Doesn't look good. All right. The New York Times COVID map, because that has been under my tongue, because that's where the states are individually. And according to this, there's a lot of places in the Rust Belt and the Sun Belt are they're hotspots. Not shocked, not surprised. So here we go. California has 2,407,671 cases of COVID, followed by Texas, 1,829,570. Florida, 1,376,684. New York is the 4th state to now be in the millions. 1,035,396. And from my New York Times, I think alert, or because I get also email subscribe from Andrew Cuomo's website, Governor Cuomo's website, we have one case of the UK COVID strand. So we're the 2nd state to have the UK COVID strand. And because the UK is so close, I don't want to, it's close across the pond because it only takes 5 hours to fly to the UK from New York. So I'm not shocked that it ended up in our airports, even though LaGuardia has a testing site. That shit still didn't matter. Who's to say that London has strict COVID restrictions? Because look who's their prime minister. It's Boris Johnson. He almost died from COVID. Illinois, who's another state to project to the millions, 987,299. Ohio, 727,423. Georgia. And Georgia's not that big. Georgia don't even have a big population. 672,849. And they've seen a surge in their cases. From what Stacey Abrams is saying, and she ain't lying. Pennsylvania, 670,769. Tennessee. Not another, it's another small state. 597,211. And North Carolina rounds off that top 10 with 572,818. But then you have places like Arizona, who is another hot spot, another like severely bad, stricken COVID, 561,442. 542. And Michigan, 541,721. But then you got South Carolina in the 300,000 tier. That's insane. So a lot of these states are seeing like rising COVID cases. So this is not a shock at all. Like deliberately. Not a shock at all. And I am not shocked at this. I'm looking at the rising cases. They got California there. I'm surprised. Yep, my state is there too. Yep. So, hey. But I don't know if I got my stimulus. My mom asked me, maybe that thing will pop up tomorrow. It's only $600. I mean, that's better than nothing. But there needs to be that $2,000. And that needs to happen. And that's why tomorrow's Georgia Senate runoffs are extremely, extremely important. Yes, the presidential election is always important, but your legislative makeup is just as important from a local level to the federal level, right? The local level, you have it in your city. Then on a state level, you have a state legislator, a state representative or a state senator, whichever things you have, state senate. And then you have, on a federal level, you have the U.S. Senate and the U.S. House of Representatives. And yesterday, the House of Representatives were sworn in and they voted for Nancy Pelosi. Now, we were all worried about what these progressives, which I'm about to get into, and all of them voted for Nancy Pelosi. But then you still got the same disgruntled white moderates, because even though people know me from criticizing the progressives, the white progressives, I will always criticize the white moderates who don't vote for the greater good, who try to sway and try to get those Republican voters, those imaginary Republican voters those imaginary swing voters who will do the greater good and vote for a Democrat. No. It's not happening. That shit done died a long time ago. These white women, from the last time they voted 53%, now there are the 55%. So this Abigail Spanberger, I was never a fan of hers anyway, because I always side-eyed her since day one. Like I side-eyed Kathleen Rice, I side-eyed Tim Ryan and Zeph Moulton. So when Tim Ryan and Zeph Moulton was running for president, I thought their campaign was a joke because I still remember what they did to Nancy Pelosi. Yep, I still remember what they did to Nancy Pelosi. So that's why they did not gain no more traction. And I'm glad they didn't. Zeph Moulton didn't even get to the debate stage. And I was like, amen. Tim Ryan had his time at the debate stage, but he was not memorable. Even though Beto dropped out earlier, but Beto was more memorable and more likable, honestly, to tell you the truth. So I still remember. So that's why I will always side-eye those white moderates who represents those very white districts who tend to vote for one Democratic congressional person. They're white, but vote for a Republican president. Yes, I still remember. And I believe that a lot of Tim Ryan voters, a lot of Zeph Moulton voters, a lot of Abigail Spanberger constituents, they all voted for Trump. Again. So I will always side-eye them. And I will always side-eye progressives because they like to Christopher Columbus everything. So they both share the same kind of ilk, but just differently. More extreme than the other. But anyway, back to these Georgia runoffs. You have the Reverend Raphael Warnock. He spoke tonight. And then John Ossoff, who is also running. Now, I believe that Reverend Warnock will win because people don't like Kelly Loeffler. I love John Ossoff, but I just pray and hope these stupid people do not vote for David Perdue, who just voted against for you guys to even have $2,000. Who wasn't even for you having the $1,200? Who knew about the severity of this virus and protected his own interests and didn't protect the people of Georgia, along with Kelly Loeffler? So, if I was you guys, I would vote for Reverend Warnock and John Ossoff, who will actually fight for y'all to get that money. Oh, John Ossoff is not for Medicare for all. Does not matter. He's for his constituents to have their health care and to have some COVID relief and to also have better funding in their neighborhoods. And there's a lot of black and brown neighborhoods in Georgia as well, just as like it's still here in New York. Like, let's keep in mind, New York is still overwhelmingly black and Latino. So let's get that straight. It's not a lot of white people here. MSN, whatever, mainstream media. Yeah, y'all. But back to Georgia. Y'all need to vote for John Ossoff. And y'all didn't vote for the early elections. The early voting. Please vote. Please vote tomorrow. And that's a fact. Because those two sentences will determine who will be the House Majority Leader. Will it still be Addison Mitchell McConnell Jr. or Charles Schumer, a.k.a. Chuck Schumer? Chuck Schumer's not effective. You don't need a loudmouth to run anything. And it's no shade to Elizabeth Warren or to Bernie Sanders. They don't have the stamina to be the Senate Majority Leader. If not him, Chuck Schumer, it should be somebody like Amy Klobuchar. But Chuck Schumer's the right person. Chuck Schumer has the stamina. Chuck Schumer knows how to negotiate. Chuck Schumer's not a loudmouth. Chuck Schumer doesn't scream a lot. You don't need a headache. You got to work with people. And he'd be the best person for the job. Elizabeth Warren, do a lot of this. Bernie do a lot of that. And there's nothing wrong with that. You just don't need that to be leading the Senate or talking to Joe Biden. Because Joe Biden will shut your ass down, along with Kamala Harris. Definitely Kamala ain't here for that bullshit. So, one way or another, she, So you don't need a loud mouth. But that in a nutshell. Then you have these Republicans. Let's talk about Missouri Junior Senator. What's his face? Hi. Joshua David Hawley, also known as Josh Hawley. I wish these senators would use their real names. This man is the complete buffoon. And let me just play this video.
You're trying to do. Are you trying to say that as of January 20th, that President Trump will be president?
Well, that depends on what happens on Wednesday. I mean, this is why we have the debate.
No, it doesn't. The states by the Constitution say they certify the election. They did certify it. By the Constitution, Congress doesn't have the right to overturn the certification, at least as most experts read it.
Well, Congress is directed under the 12th Amendment to count the electoral votes. There's a statute that dates back to the 1800s, 19th century, that says that there is a right to object, there's a right to be heard, and there's also a certification
process.
That's
from 1876, Senator, and it's right. the Tilden-Hayes race, in which there were 3 states that did not certify their electors. So Congress was left to come up with this system, this commission, that eventually got to a negotiated grand bargain. But now all of the states have certified their elections as of December 14th. So it doesn't, by constitutional ways, open a door to Congress to overturn that, does it?
Well, no, I'm talking about the statute, Brett. There's a statute that says, that governs what Congress does on January the 6th. And it says that we have a vote of certification and that we have the opportunity to debate the results, to certify the results. We count them and then we certify. And my point is, this is my only opportunity during this process to raise an objection and to be heard. I don't have standing to file lawsuits.
Josh Hawley is stupid. He went to Yale. Mixed it up. I think he knows what he's doing. He's just being dumb. I think he's trying to hold on to that Trump base. I think he wants to run for president for 2024 or wants to be the maybe somebody's vice president. Maybe he thinks of a Pence, Michael Pence, vice president. Exactly. And that's what Brett Baer said. Now, if you got someone like Brett Baer to shut your ass down and you still trying to be like, this is my opportunity to raise concerns, you're an idiot. Let me read one of these comments. Sanders and the squad girls never have and never will do anything to advance any of the economic causes, including universal health care they claim to believe in. Before them, Hillary Clinton believed in universal health care when she was the first lady. I watched that documentary. But I'm not here for no argument, but I'm just letting you know. You can actually look that up yourself. And the squad, the reason why they voted for Nancy Pelosi, because y'all wanted Kevin McCarthy to be the House leader. He's a punk. As I said in my video, he's a punk ass bitch. And it proves it right then and there. So who do y'all wanted to be the House leader? Hakeem Jeffries already got behind. Hakeem Jeffries is the chair of the Democratic House Caucus. And Jim Clyburn is the majority whip, and Stony Hoyer is the majority leader. Who did y'all want it to be the House Speaker? Is every Democrat mostly in there except for 5 got behind Nancy Pelosi, even them progressives, because they know that they will never find allyship with Kevin McCarthy. Kevin McCarthy's the type of dude you want to go and punch him in his face and then just punch Steve Scalise just because he's there. But who am I? People don't have to listen to me no more. But I state the truth and I keep it real. Back to George Harley for a second on his stupidity. What was George Harley trying to prove? What is he trying to prove? What he and like 11 other senators tried to prove? You can't overturn elections that were already counted and cast and certified. Joe Biden is the president-elect. Kamala Harris is the vice president-elect. Whether you like it or not. Yes, that black lady who has also Indian descent in her blood, Indian heritage, will be your vice president, whether you like it or not. The world is changing. White people will be the majority within the next 10 years. And some of them same white people and their families have biracial children who also identify as multicultural. So Joshua, what you trying to prove? That Yale degree was a waste of your stupidity because you are stupid. If that made sense. Yeah. But enough of the stupidity of the GOP because we can go on and on and on and on about them. These progressives, though, the progressive pundits to be exact, because it's not the elected officials. They seem to be on board trying to get shit done. But these progressive pundits are fighting. So Anna Kasparin, I guess, because Jimmy Dore and Cenk Uygur have been fighting on Twitter for like about a week and a half. I guess they dragged Anna Kasparin into this. So who's not a warmonger? The one good thing, there's nothing good about Donald Trump. I was raised in New York. There's nothing good about Donald Trump. Donald Trump conned people, including my family, of $1,500. So it's nothing good. I don't care if he's not a warmonger. It's nothing good that comes out of him. Alrighty. So let's get back to these. Exactly, Dr. C. Thank you, my fellow New York sister. So Jimmy Dore, I guess he said something about Anna Kasparin or Katie Halper, one of them. So I guess Anna Kasparin clapped back at that ass. And keep in mind, I really don't care for Anna Kasparin. She said a lot of things and a lot of nasty things about Kamala Harris. But I am going to, yes, he is. Yes, he is, Dr. C. He started an official war in the U.S. Yep, and divided the country. Have people, even though black people have been side-eyeing white people, but we really side-eyed them extra hard. But here's Anna Kasparin
someone who's being sense that's going on. And the thing that has infuriated me the most, and I'm saying it has infuriated me, is that people who know us, people who know our intentions, people who have worked closely with us in the past are sitting there and listening to that lunatic and allowing and enabling that lunatic to make all sorts of ridiculous smears against good people who have been working hard, right? I have a huge problem with that. And they keep talking about it as if like, oh, Jimmy Dore's mean, so I don't want Medicare for all. No, I can be mean too. This isn't about Jimmy Dore being mean, okay? He could be as mean as he wants to me. What this is about, though, is the people surrounding him, enabling him when he puts out ridiculous conspiracy theories, like calling me someone who's being funded by NATO because I interviewed Madeleine Albright once. So, direct question to both Katie Halper and Brianna Joy Gray. Do you guys think that I'm paid by NATO? And if you don't, why don't you say something? Do you think that Sam Cedar is just a corporate shill? And if you don't think he is, then why don't you say so? I just think that this effort has been so destructive, so toxic, and so disgusting. And don't tell me not to focus on Jimmy Dore when they've decided to put Jimmy Dore front and center in this entire thing.
Like I said, I don't agree with Anna Kasparian nor Cenk Uygur, but Jimmy Dore has been saying a lot of nasty, misogynistic things about people. He even tweeted some nasty, misogynistic things about the progressives in the House. And keep in mind, I don't agree with them politically on certain things. Certain things I do, and certain things I don't, and certain things I don't like. Oh, yes, Sam Cedar is on Peacock. The Majority Report is on Peacock streaming service. So that's Jimmy Dore's comparison, Dr. C. Jimmy Dore's been acting like a basket idiot. Ooh, child. Like he's been acting crazy. Like your man's been ODing, going crazy. Yes, I use your man's. Because that's what the fuck he been acting like. I necessarily don't listen to them, but their fights have been public. Very public. So you know he's been fighting with Cenk for quite some time. He said, Cenk thinks I have an emotional problem because I'm angry about the lack of health care in America and yell at politicians about it. Here is Cenk going full matic about raging at brown female airline employees. Whatever. But the thing that made me mad was when he tried to check Amani Gandhi. And Amani Gandhi is a leftist. He basically tried to tell her that you're such a girl fan of politicians and blah, 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 blah. I read the tweet. You can see the video on my timeline. And I basically said in the video, you have no right to police women of color. And keep in mind, I'm not a defender of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez myself, but you're a white man, Jimmy Dore. You're not going to police any woman of color or any woman, period. He gets your respect. He don't get my respect. I swear to God, I dealt with too many disrespectful white men in my time as a black woman, and I'll be ready to choke somebody. See, I don't have the patience. Thank you, Dr. C. I don't have the patience for people yelling at me because I have the patience to call you all kinds of names. And I was thinking, you could go get your wife. That's the Harlem in me. Go get your girlfriend. Go get your daughter. Go get your mother. Go get whoever, a female in your family that want to get slapped. Because I'm about that life. Even if I win or lose, like I'm about that life. I'm not scared. Like Jimmy Dore got no right. And the way he was yelling in one of these videos, like I gotta pull this shit up because, like, you know, like some people just, ooh. Because he was just yelling like a crazy person. And his erratic tweets yesterday was crazy. And the way he like disrespected Corey Bush and Rashida Tlaib and Iman Ilhan Omar and Jamal Bowen and Alexandra, it was just nasty. And Ayanna, it was just nasty. Like it was nasty to the point where it's like, I want to find you and beat your ass. Like that's how like I want to find him. Is that erratic ass video of him? I'm on my timeline, looking through my goddamn timeline and shit. So what? He don't need to be disrespecting people. He's too disrespectful. He may not be disrespectful for you because I don't know what your ilk is, but he's disrespectful. And he shouldn't be. Not to women. I don't care who he is. I don't care if he marched with Martin Luther King. And another thing about it too, I did it in the video. Somebody compared this motherfucker to Malcolm X. Like he got Malcolm X integrity. If I was to tell my 66-year-old father who grew up in Harlem, just like me, who actually saw Malcolm X, my father, speaking on a corner of 123rd Street and Lenox Avenue in front of that Seventh-day Adventist church, my father would have went like, why would you compare a revolutionary white, exactly, Candace, why would you compare a revolutionary white man, no, a revolutionary black man towards a white man, to a white man? Jimmy Dore never been through the experiences of Malcolm X. Yep, and I think he spoke at the temple not too far from where you at. I think on 135th Street, I think, by the hospital, if I'm not mistaken. Because there was a lot of black Muslims that used to dress in black and white. I'm literally trying to find that video because I'm still tight. Oh yeah, in California, right, Paul? I heard that. Well, I can't find the damn video, but he was going off and he brushed by Katie Harper, Breonna Gray, and they were like quote unquote trying to stop him, but they really didn't stop him. But they're not stopping him from the way he's treating these women in Congress or like any progressive women that just say like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? So I kind of felt Anna at that point, like, why are you trying to come at me because I interviewed the former Secretary of State? Why are you mad? During the Clinton administration, Madeleine Albright, that's a living legend. What are you doing? You mad because you couldn't get that interview? While you was out there being a low budget comedian, I was out here doing these interviews. Man, please. Yeah, I heard in California. I heard 43, I think in San Francisco. I saw that on the news. That was OD crazy. Yeah, like I said, I'm not a fan of Anna Kasparin, but I am not for no old white man like Jimmy Dore who can be super disrespectful. And he's super disrespectful. He was disrespectful from like, he's always been a disrespectful motherfucker. Honestly, to tell you the truth. Come on, he praised Tulsi Gabbard out of all people who is now a bigot and a homophobe, which people knew that shit about her. Where you been? Yeah, I'm assuming that's not that far from San Francisco. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm an East Coast girl, so I don't know. But yeah, who the fuck is Jimmy Dore? And now he fighting with Shank and Anna, who got more viewership than he does. And you interviewing with Dr. West, who I used to have so much respect for him, and I try not to disrespect him. But the fact that you calling him brother Jimmy Dore, like he's some type of, excuse me, like he's your brother and shit, that motherfucker will turn white on rice on you in a minute if any shit will go down. So Cornell West want to keep that brother shit, want to limit how he call people brother and sister. You have all that smoke for Kamala and the former president of the United States, Barack Obama, but you ain't got smoke for motherfuckers who's disrespecting minority congressional folks. Nigga. And I say that because sometimes he act like he got a low class mentality. Nigga, please. Miss me with the bullshit, with that brother shit. Brother Jimmy. Don't do that shit. And for the motherfucker who tweeted about Jimmy Dore having Michael Mack's integrity, I want to know where that nigga is on that motherfucker, where he is on Twitter. I would like to know, because that shit was crazy. Yup, Dr. C, that I'm like, you don't even do that. Even white people was side out in that shit. Like, the fuck is this shit? You don't compare a white man to. Yep, he's in trouble in Georgia. I'm sorry, Paul, to be going off, but I covered Georgia. But I'm so sick of these. I'm so sick of these chaos agents. Well, she's gone. And the guy and her constituents been pissed off with her lately. So in Hawaii, from what I heard. But I'm going to cover this because it's almost 12 o'clock. I'm about to cut this off. But it was good to see y'all. And I'll see you tomorrow. I'm not trying to be this long. I was not trying to be this long. But, no, you're not. Paul, you're fine. I got to get up early. I got to learn how to go to bed early. Because I now have a temporary job at work. And so I have to, consort myself. I was caught up doing some other things. Doing stuff for people. This is what happens when you're nice. But, yeah, it was good to see y'all. I hope you had a great new year. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'm trying to be a little earlier and, end a little earlier. But it was great to see y'all. And I hope to see y'all tomorrow. Have a good night.